Hey beloved, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sally. If you're new here, thank you for clicking my video and joining me on my corner of the interwebs. So, sleep paralysis. This is such a weird phenomenon, and there's a lot we can talk about in this video. So, well, where do we start? Let's start from the beginning. What is it? What is sleep paralysis? Now, in my entire life, this has happened to me twice. In my entire life, and as I was doing research for this, because I went down that rabbit hole. I found out that for some people, this is like a normal occurrence, like it happens to them all the time, right? Which ignited so many other questions. So, sleep paralysis, according to Google, it's a phenomenon that occurs where your body is in paralysis while you're falling asleep or when you're waking up. Like that middle ground when you're falling asleep or waking up, that's when the paralysis occurs. Science says that your brain is still asleep, but your body is functioning. Like all your senses are alert, it's just your brain is shut off. That's what science says. But a lot of Christians feel like there's a spiritual side to it. There's a spiritual attachment to sleep paralysis. And we're going to talk about all that, right? So my experience happened twice, like I've already said. The first time it happened, it was here in Nairobi. I was at my mom's house, and I don't remember if I had a dream or anything, but it was in the middle of the night. I don't remember what time it was because I don't remember looking at the time, but it was in the middle of the night, and I just felt a presence in the room. I felt a presence in the room, and this presence, it wasn't on me, it was just around me, right? And then when the way you can feel someone, when someone is looking at you, you turn and see this, you can just feel someone is looking at you, right? Or when someone is approaching you, can tell, there's a energy that's coming to approach. That's what it felt like. And I opened my eyes to see what this thing, or who is this person who's about to wake me up, because that's what I felt. I feel like maybe it's my mom who's coming in to wake me up, because when was this? It wasn't long ago though, but she was coming to wake me up, or my daughter was coming to wake me up. I don't know, but I just felt a presence was coming to wake me up. So I opened my eyes to see what this was, but I couldn't open my eyes, like physically. Although my eyes did open, like I could see I'm in my room, right? So I tried to sit up in my bed to be aware of my surroundings, but I couldn't. I couldn't move my hands, I couldn't move my shoulders, I couldn't move my legs. And then I felt like a pressure on my shoulders, especially. I felt like a pressure, like literally someone was, like two people were holding me down, right? And I felt like hands, I don't know how else to describe it, but I felt like hands were touching me, like hands were just creeping from my legs upwards towards my upper body. And in that moment, I was like anybody would, I was scared. So I just uttered the word Jesus. I just said Jesus. And then immediately the pressure lifted, the hands went away, and I could feel my senses coming, and I could feel like I was regaining power in my body. So I sat up. I sat up and I looked around the room. It was dark. It was maybe 4 or 5 a.m. because I could see the daylight just starting to, you could see outside it's beginning to be morning, right? And that was just a guess because I don't remember what time it was. But I just sat up and I'm looking around the room like there's no one there. It's just me. there's no one there. And clearly after that I couldn't fall back asleep. I literally could not fall back asleep, and it disturbed me for a while. But as the days progressed, I just pushed it to the back of my mind and never thought about it again until my dad passed. And the whole funeral happened, we buried him, and then it's a year later and I find myself back in Shags, my dad's home, like the country, right? For those who are not Kenyans. I find myself back in the countryside, and again, now this is the second time now it happened. This second time there was phenomenons or events leading towards that, because twice in the early months after my dad passed and after we buried him, when I visited his grave, there was like a hole. I don't know how you guys do it in your cultures, but in the Luo culture, it depends really where your village, how you do it. But it's a 6-foot hole, and it was cemented, and then there's a block of cement that comes on top of it after the coffin goes down, right? And then you can put like a headstone or something like that. But as we didn't do that, at the foot of his grave there was a hole, and I remember distinctively that there was no hole there when we buried him. Like everything was covered up, but there's a hole, right? And the hole looked like someone dug up the hole and then someone else filled up the hole. So you can see there was some sort of fight happening of digging and filling up the thing. So I didn't think about it then, because I myself remember filling up that hole with, it's like someone tried to fill up the hole but didn't finish. So I just filled up the hole with the soil that was around there, right? And then a few days passed and I went back to visit his grave again. I find the hole again, and it's like it's not filled again. I was like, So I told my mom about this, and my mom was like, "Are you sure?" Yes. So she went to the grave and saw it, and then she's like, okay, that's weird, because apparently in Luo culture there's some sort of tradition that you're supposed to dig a hole. Please, for people who are in the Luo culture, please verify for me this in the comment section below, because my people won't talk about it again when I ask. Is that true? Like there's a thing where you're supposed to release the spirit, so that's why the hole was there. So my dad's spirit was supposed to be released. That's why they dug a hole, so that the spirit can go through the hole and then be released. Is that a thing? I don't know. Please verify in the comments down below. But yeah, so my mom was telling me, okay, there's a thing. It's a cultural thing, so we need to be careful and we need to pray. It's like, okay, so. And then now a year later, after all that happened, when I went back to visit my dad's grave, the hole wasn't there anymore. Everything was how it's supposed to be, I guess. So I remember this day, it was Saturday. I remember very vividly. It was Saturday and I'm home alone because everybody else I was in church online. This is in the afternoon, right? I went to church online. I was at home. Guys were minding their business. I don't remember where people were, but they weren't home. I was in the house by myself, right? And I went to the bathroom. Now, in Shags, there's always shida maji, problem with water. And as much as we have modern day things there, like we just had to, the water had to be pumped into the house, so it wasn't done. So I'm sitting on the toilet bowl, right? And there's a container we usually have that's just right next there where we used to, to get the water and put it in the toilet now after you're done, right? So this container was just on the ground and it was upside down, like it was upside down, right? And me, I'm just, doing my thing on the toilet. And suddenly I see that container, it starts to move. It just moves. So the first time I did that, I thought, maybe it's me who's just like, you're in the toilet, sometimes you stretch your legs and then you just kick it or something, or it moves slightly. But I thought about it twice. I was like, no. And then I thought maybe, because we're in the countryside, there's bugs. There's all sort of tiny little bugs and lizards and all. So I thought maybe there's a bug that was trapped underneath and it was moving the thing. Because that container wasn't heavy. It was a very light type container that a bug could easily, if it was moving, it could move. So I thought it was that. So I just let it go. I didn't put it back in my mind. I didn't think about it again until the container, it moved again. And I was like, Lord, is it you? Are you trying to talk to me? What's going on here? Like, so now my full attention is on this container. Full attention is on this container, and it moves again. Now this time it's just, it didn't move like a second move. No, it moved from point A to point B, and I could see. And the weird thing about it, and I'm thinking about this now. The weird thing about it was a clear container, like you could see inside. And I could see inside, there's no bug inside there. This container is literally moving by itself. Mimi kama nani? As the human that I am, I was like, hey, not today. And that day I felt, I don't know if you've ever experienced like you just don't want to be in this day. You just want this day to end already so you can sleep and rest and be rejuvenated and then try again tomorrow. I was feeling like that day. And it's like I wasn't, and I remember I was trying to listen to the sermon and I wasn't really hearing what the preacher was saying. To be honest, that day I can't tell you who preached. I really can't tell you, but I wasn't feeling that day. And then this happens in that loo. I just stood up, I just cleaned myself up. I was like, not today. Today is not the day for you to start coming to attack me spiritually. I'm not in the mood. And then I started singing. I don't know why, I just started singing. I started singing hymns, and then I went to my phone and I started playing songs, gospel songs, hymns. And that's what I did for the rest of the afternoon, just praising God. That's all I did. And I don't know what moved me to do that, but I just did. I just felt that's what I needed to do at that point. That night, we have slept, we have eaten. Everyone has gone to their rooms, everyone is asleep, we have slept. Again, I cannot tell you what time it was, I didn't check. But definitely it was in the middle of the night. I felt a presence. Now, please note, in the countryside, I share a room with my daughter, right? But I felt a presence, and it wasn't her, because she was sleeping right next to me. And again, I felt that pressure, like someone is holding me down. Someone is holding me down. And this time around, I felt like someone was holding my throat. Yeah? It's like I'm being choked, but I'm not being choked. You get? Again, this time I could open my eyes. I could open my eyes, I could see there's no one in the room, but I can feel this presence. I can feel there's this thing that's holding me down, and this thing is trying to choke me. Because I tried to speak. I literally tried to speak and utter because I remember the first experience I had, and I just uttered the name of Jesus, and that presence left. But this time, it's like I couldn't say his name. I could not say his name. So, again, fear gripped me, and I was like, nah. Why do I need to fear, yet I don't have to use my words. Like I can use my mind. I can speak with my mind, I can speak with my spirit. And that's what I did. I started singing in my head. I just started singing. And the song Pass Me Not, it just came to my head. And that's what I says, singing. And when I got to the part that says, Savior, Savior, hear my humble cry, I could just feel literally a tear roll down. And I don't know when I started crying, but that's it. And the presence left. I could regain my limbs and everything. And I just sang the song. I sang it. I remember singing it like 3 times, from top to bottom, 3 times. And then at some point I just fell back asleep, right? Next day I woke up and I told my mom about it. And right then we prayed. And she's like, now she started asking questions. So, are you stressed? Are you okay? Like, what's going on with you? How's your life? etc. And for the life of me, I don't know why my mom always asks me these questions. Sorry, I had to change my battery. Where was I? So yeah, my mom is asking me all these questions about my life. It's like she always asks me about what's going on with me, but right now, though she's asking me, it's a bit concerning. So I was like, should I be worried here? So I went off by myself and just prayed, And ever since then, I purposed to have like a routine where I talk to God every day and have just devotion myself. And some days are good, some days are bad. And that's just something that I keep doing it. Until I decided, you know what? Let me just do some research here. And so I went to the Googles and here we are making a video about it. So I went to the Googles and I was researching if there's what specifically I wanted to know was, is there any spiritual attachment that comes with sleep paralysis? Is there a spiritual meaning behind it? Because I did ask my mom about it and she didn't know. She generally didn't know. And I've never talked to anyone else about it. I did tell my best friend about it and she prayed for me as well. And that's just about it. That's it. And so, let me tell you the interwebs. The interwebs has a lot of information that needs sifting, but let's get into it. So science says, let's start from the beginning. So there's 2 sides to this. So there's the scientific side and then there's the spiritual side, right? And the spiritual side is there because Christians believe that there is a spiritual side. But then there's also a scientific side because, God gave us a brain and all this opportunity just to discover a lot of things. So science says that it's just a phenomenon where your body is just shut down and it's like your brain is catching up to your body when you're waking up or when you're falling asleep. That's what it is. So this attack is just a moment of paralysis where your brain is catching up, because your brain is the one that sends signals to the rest of your body to, okay, now move your hand or wake up or get up or stretch your legs, like that. So it's like your brain is just catching up to the rest of your body. That's the attack. That's where the sleep paralysis phenomenon comes in. And science also gives an explanation of why most people have it often and most people have, like myself, just have experienced it twice, and other people experience it almost every night. Apparently there's people who experience it every night, and that's just weird to me. That's just weird to me. So some of the things is your sleep patterns. Science says some of the reasons why you have sleep paralysis is because you have unusual sleep patterns, your diet is wrong, you're not exercising well, you're not, it has to do with a lot of movement of your body and dieting and what you put into your body and how that's affecting your sleep, ideally your sleep. And then there's also other factors like stress and hormones and etc. like for men and women. That's what science says. So now, the Bible. Well, not the Bible. Christian spirituality. Let's call it like that. spirituality says that it's signs of a greater thing or a different thing, right? And if you Google, there's always, I've seen this a lot. Apparently there's 7 signs that of why you have sleep paralysis, spiritual signs, and things that you need to do to stop it or maintain it or handle it, things like that. And more often than not, it has to do with, a spiritual warfare that's happening in the spiritual realm, because we are all spiritual beings and we've been given this body to maintain by God, and that's why when we die, God breathed into us, and when we die, that breath is taken back to God. So we are soul, right? And this is just a vessel that our soul lives in. And so your sleep paralysis is happening because, one, I'm just telling you what Google said. Okay, you can Google this. This is in no way accurate. I'm not an expert in this, but I am curious about someone who is, to comment down below and tell and educate us if this is accurate or not, because I've gotten different sources and they all say the same thing, right? That your environment, there's an evil spirit in your environment that is seeking a gateway to attack you. So that's why it's affecting your patterns, right? That's why you have sleep paralysis. Another reason is, I wrote them down, so if you see me looking on this side, it might be a sign of protection, right? And they gave an example of a story of a guy who experienced this sleep paralysis in the morning that delayed him from getting to the gym in the time that he was supposed to get to the gym. And when he woke up and got ready and got out of his house, he found there was a pole that had blocked the street and it had fallen down. And if he got up in the time, and he realized that if he got up in the time that he usually gets up, he would have been crushed by that pole and possibly died or been injured, deadly injured. Is that English? Anyway, so that's the example that was given in that segment of it's a sign of protection, where maybe God is trying, or your guardian angel is trying to protect you from something. Another reason is you're being attacked spiritually, like in a dream, right? So now, spiritualists, he says, they don't totally disagree with the science part of where the sleep paralysis happens, the moment it happens, the time it happens. They're not totally disagreeing. It happens when you're in between sleep and waking up, right? That's when it happens. So they're in agreement with that. So at that moment, usually now, for this example where they say you're being attacked in a dream, usually it happens, you find, and I saw this a lot with people giving the experience where they feel like they're dreaming, but they're not, because it's not different from reality. It's like almost a vision, but it's not a vision. It's like, this is actually happening, you know? So that's when it attacks. So most people say it's a dream, and then when they wake up, they feel the remnants of the dream on their body, right? Like if they're being attacked, like if there's a lady who gave an experience where she felt like she was being scratched, like her back, like something was scratching her. And when she woke up, she literally had scratches on her back. So she doesn't know if she was dreaming or it was a vision or anything. And most of the time that she felt like there's sometimes she could remember everything that happened, and then there's sometimes she wouldn't be able to recall what happened, you know? So yeah, apparently now, according to the Bible, according to spirituality, that there's an evil spirit, you know, attacking you. So another reason why they give that you're experiencing sleep paralysis is there's someone in the house that's doing evil magic. there's someone in the house that's doing evil magic. So they're messing with you, and they're messing with your aura, and they're messing with your energy. So that's why you're experiencing sleep paralysis, or there's a ghost in the house that's trying to send you a message, or that's trying to attack you, or that has been sent to come and torment you. Another thing that I found interesting when I saw a reference of this a lot, that you're experiencing sleep paralysis because you fear death. And it's like your mind and body is playing a spiritual prank on you. That's how they described it. And that hit me a lot, because you see, my experience happened because it happened around the death of my father. So I don't know if that's connected, and I don't know, that just got me thinking. I don't know if that would be connected to why I experienced it, but you see, I've never experienced it again, you know? Well, I don't know. Another reason why they said is there's negative energy in the house, there's or around you, or it's you're getting this because you've been having bad dreams. And they also give reasons as to why this is happening, and a lot of it has to do with sleep patterns, and a lot of things have to do with the things that you're ingesting, whether it's in your body or in your mind, like spiritually. And quite honestly, about the things that you're putting in, maybe that could be a reason why I haven't experienced it again ever since, because now I've been focusing on being careful about the things that I ingest. And the other day, I saw this on the other day. Was it on Instagram? That there's a therapist who says that people who watch true crime to relax, it's me, are psychopaths. I don't know if that's really true. I just had to throw that in there. I don't know. Is that true? Well, that's another video, I guess. So, after doing all this and walking into jumping right into that rabbit hole about what sleep paralysis is and everything that surrounds that, I tried to see if there's any Bible reference to it. And unfortunately, there isn't. The Bible doesn't talk about sleep paralysis, but it talks about, there's a verse that was referenced to, and that is Proverbs 3 verse 24, and we will read it together. You can go to bed without fear. You will lie down and sleep soundly. That's what it says. That's the NLT version. Let's see another version. When you lie down, you will not be afraid. Yes, you will lie down and your sleep will be sweet. I don't know how I feel about that verse, but it's supposed to give comfort to someone who's been tormented by sleep paralysis, or someone who's being tormented spiritually, and for some reason they can't fall asleep, or for some reason they can't sleep soundly. And it does give comfort. And to be honest, it's kind of difficult for me, and that's the Bible. I guess maybe I'm just looking for like a deeper meaning, and I don't know what that is. And I'm glad that these experiences have never happened to me again, because to be honest, I don't want to experience them again. I really don't. But I also take solace in the fact of knowing that God's got my back. I mean, all these things that I am doing right now to draw myself closer to Him and focus on Him and focus on what His purpose for my life isn't. I don't say wrong. Like, isn't going to waste. Yeah, that's a better term. Like, it's not going to waste. Like, I am seeking God profusely, and I love this phase of my life right now, and my relationship with God right now. And I guess that's what's keeping any spiritual attack that may be happening in the spiritual realm around me at bay. And I love that for me. But I want to know what you think. Have you guys ever had an experience with sleep paralysis? If you have, comment down below and tell us what your experience was and what did you do after, and has it occurred again? And anyone who's an expert in the same, is it a spiritual thing or is it just scientific? Because those two worlds butt heads, and it's like science says there's no spiritual thing that's attached to it. Spirituality says, yeah, there's scientific explanations for this, but there's also a spiritual side to this. Can the two coexist? And if it does, how so? I'm looking forward to reading your thoughts. I'm looking forward to reading your prayers. And I'm looking forward to reading your experiences. But other than that, consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. Like this video if it's something you enjoyed. And this channel will aim to educate and be educated. So thank you so much for joining me and staying on until the end of the video. Stay safe out there. I love you and God loves you too. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.